वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुलारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णा प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमय प्रदीपः नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुलारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णा प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमय प्रदीपः Namo Namaha. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon from wherever you are joining. Pullara Vindayata Patranetra Vedavyasa, so while glorifying Vedavyasa, Pullara Vindayata, like a lotus petal, fully blossomed lotus, his eyes are that way. When one is in bliss, in overjoy, the pupil dilates, opens up. The disciples are waiting for that moment from the teacher. They want to see the opening of the dilation of the eyelids so that the grace of the teacher flows onto the students. It is glorifying Vedavyasa. He has composed this one out of extreme compassion for the students, for the devotees. His eyelids pupil was had dilated. Out of compassion, he has composed Mahabharata. It's inexhaustible oil. Thaila Purnaha. This flame of Mahabharata will never get extinguished because this fuel is an inexhaustible fuel. However many times you ponder, you will discover the new dimensions of Mahabharata. New dimensions of Mahabharata. You can't say that you have finished going through Mahabharata. It is so magnanimous text, and you can't say, and not only you, it says even the Brahma, he hasn't exhausted going through Mahabharata. Even he has not satisfied going through that one. He wants to go through it again and again. And Mahabharata, we have been covering the story of Pandavas and Kauravas, and from the Kaurava clan, Bhishmacharya through Satyavati had two children, Chitrangada and Vichitravirya. Chitrangada died fighting with Gandharvas. Vichitravirya had tuberculosis, and he could not go to Swayamvara and choose his own brides. So Bhishma has to fetch brides, and 3 brides from the Kashi Raja. He had organized a Swayamvara. Bhishmacharya went there, said to the princess assembled, anyone dares to fight with me, come and fight. And nobody came before him, so he took all 3 princesses, Ambalika and Ambika, from there, and all the princesses, they started fighting against him, but nobody could able to stand against Bhishma. Everyone ran away. And after that, Amba insisted him to marry because the one she liked refused to marry, and so when Amba refused, when Bhishma refused, Amba did intense tapas to invoke the grace of Lord Shiva, so that she will be able to kill Bhishmacharya. Amba, in fact, she was also a Gandharva, Vasu, and she was the original wife of Bhishmacharya. But because of the prarabdha, she wanted to be born again. She was born as Shikandi, and the intention of her being born, she wanted to kill Bhishma. And on the other side, the Dhritarashtra, born blind, he could not ascend to the rulership. The second one, Pandu had skin disorder. His skin was very pale, and he was crowned as a king. And he had two wives, Kunti and Madri. He decided to go to Himalayas, and we are in June, we are going through that place in the foothills of Badrinath, Pandukeshwar, where Pandu did the tapas along with Kunti and Madri, and he accidentally shot an arrow at rishis. They cursed him the moment if he is with his wives, and he will be killed. And so he wanted to observe sannyasa, but Kunti and Madri said they also will live as sannyasins. So they were living together, and once some Siddha Purushas, they were moving in Himalayas. He wanted to go along with them, but he could not keep pace with them. They took off, and he asked them why he could not take off. They said, "You do not have a child. Because you do not have children, that is why you can't come." Then last week I mentioned the message of this one. Children is two types of children. One is a biological children. The second one is the Manasa Putra. Whatever you are what you are, it is because of the blessings from so many people. So many people had blessed you to become whatever you are in the present role. You are financially very well off, well educated, and well qualified. Still, you have no concern for others. You are living for yourself. You haven't passed on. So many people have blessed. You are not passing on that the blessings to the other people. Then in scriptures they say you do not have any children. In Vivekananda once he mentioned, I hold everyone a traitor who is well educated and well settled in life, still not doing anything for others. I hold that person a traitor. That it was not an ordinary statement, very powerful statement. If you are not giving it back to the society, in the next life, you will be born with abjure poverty. You had an opportunity. In the Mahabharata says, what you have a role to play in the society. What you are, you have an obligation to give it back. And after that, Pandu said, I cannot have any children. And he was very worried, but they said, you will have 5 children, and they said, we have to go to Brahma's court for a deliberation. So they ascended. He came and narrated the story with Kunti, and he said, we cannot have children. Then Kunti said, not to worry, I have a blessings from Durvasa. I have got a mantra. With that mantra, we can invoke the grace of the Lord. And she asked, whom should I call? Pandu said, first you invoke the blessings of the Yama. Yama is known for dharma. Everything must be based on the dharma, Yudhishthira. So she invoked the Yamaraja, Yamaya Dharmarajaya. Yama is known for justice. We may say in our life that we are so busy, we are so charitable, we are so good, but there is an inside cassette player, like a black box in an aeroplane. Black box is there. Chitra and Chitragupta, that inner consciousness, inner recording, they are recording everything. You can tell people and you are doing so many things, but inner record, Yama has a record of that one. His messenger, Chitragupta, they will read out and he will meet the judgment accordingly. Yamaraja, from the Yama is in the scriptures, they talk about he is so compassionate. He's so compassionate. We hear in the scriptures, people say he's very gruesome to look at, but Yama is very generous, very kind. He will give the justice according to no bias. Yamaraja, justice should be there. Based on the dharma, everything to be built. Dharmaraja was born. The first one was, at that time, there was Asharira warning, the message from the sky. This person will be known as Dharmaraja. Very generous, very righteous, very polite. He will be known as a Dharmaraja. He will be very kind to his subjects. Then, after that, Pandu said, I need a second child. So, Kunti said, whom should I invoke? Dharmaraja said, one is the dharma. The second one, I need a son who is so strong, physically strong, mentally illumined, so intelligent, and the physically very strong. No one can compare with him. So whom should I call? Then when Kunti asked, Pandu said, invoke Vayu Deva, and Hanuman is called as Pavanasuta. The next one, she invoked Vayu. Through him, the second, like Hanuman, Bhima was born. Next Saturday is Hanuman Jayanti. This is Bhima. Bhima was born. Bhima, and when he was born, there was a kettle drum. People could able to hear, and Asharira Vani, and he is compared, his strength nobody can match. His buddhi nobody can match. So illumined, he is so jnani, and when Devas take incarnation, their physical strength and mental strength are proportional. If they are physically very strong, mentally also very strong. Unlike us humans, we may be physically strong but mentally dull, or mentally strong, physically dull, physically weak. But when Devas are born, their physical strength is proportional to mental strength, highly illumined. And at that time that I mentioned last week, Gandhari heard Yudhishthira was very already born. She was very jealous, and she was pregnant, but nothing was coming out. So she beat her stomach, and from the stomach the lump was born, and no life. Vedavyasa at that time appeared. She started crying. He said, divide that lump into 100 pieces and put it in different jars. And he said 100 males will be born. And he asked, do you want any female child? She said yes. So one small lump was left, he put it there. That was another one. 101 children were born. The first one was born, Duryodhana. Duryodhana was he was born a day ahead of before Bhima was born. He is elder to Bhima by 1 day. When Bhima was born, there is a kettle drum, and Ashriravani as a great illumined person. There is no that those who contemplate on Bhima, there is no the sin will melt down. When Duryodhana was born, all the jackals were started howling, donkeys started braying, dogs started barking, and all the evil portents were there. And Dhritarashtra asked, what is this one? And all the astrologers, they saw the astrology and they said, this they said it's not a good sign. Vidura said to Dhritarashtra, you dispose of this child. If you dispose of this child, all the rest 100 will be saved. If you keep, this child will destroy not only other 100, but also entire, it will bring a ruin to the whole Hastinapura. Dhritarashtra already got attached to the child. He said, you are there, the elders are there, Jnanis are there, Bhishma is there, Gandhari is there, I am there, Dronacharya is there. We can educate the small child. I don't want to dispose of this baby. And let us keep. He was not, that's a moha started. He started getting attached to the Duryodhana from right day one, despite the advice from Vidura and other knowers. And when Bhima was born, and in next few days, in the Badrinath on the top of the mountain, Kunti was kept her baby Bhima on her lap, and while at that time she heard the roaring of a tiger. She got so scared and she wanted to get up. At that time, the child from her lap, it fell down into from the mountain, and she heard the big noise. She thought this child has gone. How unfortunate. But when she looked down, all the rocks had they got crushed. This baby was happily playing. At that time, this Kunti decided, as long as this child is there, there is no fear. Kunti, in the entire Mahabharata, never worried about Bhima. She was concerned about Arjuna, concerned about Nakula, concerned about Sahadeva, concerned about Yudhishthira, but never once she was concerned about the Bhima. She knows Bhima is there, everything is taken care. Then decided, I am saved. This boy is like a diamond. It can crush others, but this cannot be crushed. She was that great relief for Kunti. That is, these attributes of Bhima, what Mahabharata depicted, we see it in Hanuman. Pavana Sutta, contemplating on Hanuman, we also acquire those qualities. That is why the Hanuman is an embodiment of the strength, embodiment of the intellect, buddhi, dhairya, buddhir bala, yasho, dhairya, nirbhayatva, arogata, health, ajadya, no laziness, and eloquent speaking. Think of Hanuman, you will also get 8 siddhis. think of Bhima, you will get all Ashtasiddhis. That is mentioned by Veda Vyasa in at the beginning, in the Adi Parva. We will contemplate on the Arjuna next week. Arjuna, how he was born. Shri Arjuna uvacha. Sannyasam karmanam krishna. Punar yogam ch shansasi. Yach chhreya etayor ekam. Tanme bruhi su-nishchitam. Shri bhagavan uvacha. Sannyasah karma-yogash nihshreyasa-karavubhau. Tayostu karma-sannyasat. Karma-yogo vishishyate. And Arjuna is asking the question whether it is better for nivritti or pravritti. Nivritti means withdraw. His definition of nivritti means withdraw from all activities. Is that better or engage pravritti? Which one is better? Sannyasa yoga is better or karma yoga is better? Which one is better? Please tell me, enlighten me, tell me conclusively. And Shri Lord says both of them are equally important. They are on both sides of the coin. Both will elevate to the same heights. You need both. Without one, you can't get. And you need both of them. Both of them must go hand in hand. Jneyah nitya-sannyasi. dveshti kankshati. Nirdvandvo hi maha-baho. Sukham bandhat pramuchyate. One who is a nitya-sannyasi, perpetual sannyasi, he is the one, he is not defined based on the color of the cloth or dveshti kankshati. No, never hates when things doesn't come as expected, or na kankshati, having craving, I want that one. And nirdvandvo hi maha-baho, a balanced person. And things happen, it's good. Not happens, it is also good. As I mentioned previously, my the Parama Guruji's Guru, he was saying that in his ashram, if people are coming, it is welcome. If it is not coming, that is also welcome. Aane se welcome, jane se bead come. And he was saying that if people are not coming, I have peace of mind. If people are coming, I welcome them. And sannyasi is the one. Nirdvandvo hi maha-baho. Not, there is no duality in the physical level, mental level and spiritual level. Physical level, I mentioned duality in the form of hot and cold. In Himalayas, we are going in Kedarnath and Badrinath, and we will be, and I hope the people will dare to take a dip in Alakananda or Mandakini and take a cold water or warm, comfy in your room. It's a physical extremes. It is not a shaking of our mental status. Nirdvandva, physical, hot and cold. And in the mental level, mana, apamana, people may start praising you or ridiculing you. You are not what, your mental health is not dependent on the opinions of people. Nowadays, mental health is a big challenge. from the teenage days also, they say about more than 80% of the youths across the world have mental health issues. They are children, young people, teenagers. Their happiness is dependent on how many likes they get on their Facebook posting or other social media. If they get any comments, negative comments or negative opinion, they are depressed. Their happiness or sorrowness is dependent on the opinions of people. And what Yogi Sri Krishna says, my happiness is not defined by you. Whether I am right or wrong, whether I look good or not, whether my video I got a positive comment or negative comment, my happiness is not dependent on you. That is the mental health. No duality in the mental level. In the spiritual level, sukha and dukkha, the happiness and sorrow part of our life. If I am having a very good time, I should think, now round the corner there is a sorrowness. I am so much enjoying the happiness. I want happiness. I don't want sorrow. You can't have that option. When happiness comes, next turn is the sorrow. If the sorrow in your life is there, not to go into depression, you should know the next turn in my life is a happiness. That is the spiritual stability. You are not swayed in the spiritual level. That person, Shri Krishna says, is a nitya-sannyasi. sankhya-yogau pratak-bala. Pravadanti na panditaha. Ekam-apyastita samyak. Uvayo vindate phalam. The childish people, they say the sankhya-yoga, the karma-yoga and the jnana-yoga or sannyasa, karma-sannyasa are different. The illumined people never talk this way. Yat sankhe prapyate sthanam. Tad yogairapi gamyate. Ekam sankyam cha yogam cha. Yapashyati sapashyati. The one really sees, one who really sees is the one who sees the karma-yoga and karma-sannyasa are nothing but two sides of the same coin. Prapyate, through both paths, you can ascend to the same great height. That person really sees. Sannyasastu maha-baho. Dukkam apto ayogataha. Yoga-yukto munir brahma. Na achirena digacchati. Sannyasastu maha-baho. Dukkam apto ayogataha. Ayogataha, without karma yoga, only if you want to renounce, if you are not doing the karma yoga, it will result in sorrowness. And lazy mind, lazy body, lazy mind, it becomes a source of dullness. And many people, the retired people, they say, when I have plenty of money, I want to retire. After retiring, when they have energy, I always tell in the class, when you have energy, everyone must have 2 jobs. When you have energy, start building your second profession. Profession you are doing for free. Community. So, the transition from your busy life to retired life is easy. There is no idleness. When even after retiring, you are engaged with the community. You are engaged, there is no boredom. If you do not have a second job, many people go into depression. And many people they die within couple of years of retiring. Why? Because they lose the purpose in life. The children have grown up and they moved out, and I have no job, I have lost the purpose. You need to have 2 jobs. Everyone must have 2 jobs. One for your stomach, and once you retire, your mind should be healthy, you should be engaged. Keep on giving, engaged with the community. Shri Krishna says, if you do not have the second one, life will be very filled with sorrow. Yoga-yukto munir brahma.
Yoga-yukto munir brahma.
Na achirena digacchati. When you have the second job, you will realize the happiness not far away. Yoga-yukto vishuddhatma.
Yoga-yukto vishuddhatma.
Vijitatma jitendriyah.
Vijitatma jitendriyah.
sarva-bhutatma-bhutatma.
Sarva-bhutatma-bhutatma.
Kurvannapi na lipyate.
Kurvannapi na lipyate.
Yoga-yukto, when you are with the karma-yoga, when you have these 2 aligned together, you will be able to vijitatma. Atma means mind here. You will have a control over your mind. Mind will never go into dullness. Vijitatma, vishuddhatma, you will purify your mind. Vishuddhatma and vijitatma, you will have a control over your mind. You will purify your mind. Why you have to do the karma yoga? To purify yourself, purify the impurities from your mind and get control over your mind. Jitendriyaha, not only the control your mind, control over your senses. Senses are like horses. Horses, they are running amok. They are drawing our life. Each horse, each sense is drawing us towards in different directions. We are lost in our life. I don't know what I have to do in my life. We are lost. sarva-bhutatma-bhutatma kurvannapi na lipyate. One who has purified this way, controlled the senses, one who sees the same Lord pervades in all beings, kurvannapi, though engaged, not gets tainted. Some people, they say they want to do the community service. They go out one day and they say, enough of these people. I don't want to do anything with have nothing to do with the community. All are thankless people. Thankless people, there is no recognition, and we should not help people. Let them suffer. I don't want to do. Why? It is my impurities have not removed. I think I am doing. After few days they say, I don't want to do anything with the community, and I have to, enough of this community, I don't want to do any, I have to do, and they abuse me also. They withdraw. It is the problem not with the community. Here, it is the problem with this person. You have to purify, you have to do that one. Community is always the same. Society hasn't changed right from Lord Rama's time till now. In the Lord Rama's time also, people were talking behind the Lord Rama. They were talking behind him about the goddess Sita. Community is the same, but we have to change. When I engage, this person never gets tainted. And naiva kinchit karomiti.
Naiva kinchit karomiti.
Yukto manyeta tattva-vit.
Yukto manyeta tattva-vit.
Pashyan shrunvan sprishan jigran.
Pashyan shrunvan sprishan jigran.
Ashnan gachan swapan shwasan.
Ashnan gachan swapan shwasan.
Pralapan visrijan grihnan.
Pralapan visrijan grihnan.
Unmishan nimishan api.
Unmishan nimishan api.
Indriyani indriyarteshu.
Indriyani indriyarteshu.
Vartanta iti dharayan.
Vartanta iti dharayan.
Naiva kinchit karomiti. One who is engaged, was trained oneself through the karma-sannyasa and karma-yoga, realizes that I am not doing anything. I am not doing anything. I always tell in the class also, never take any responsibility. Don't take any responsibility. This person realizes, I am not doing anything. Manyeta tattva-vit. He or she understands the essence. Pashyan, though seeing, shunvan, though hearing, sprishan, though he is feeling through the Pashyan, Shunvan, Sprishan, feeling in the skin, Jigran, though smelling, Ashnan, though eating, Gachan, though walking, Swapan, though sleeping, Swashan, though breathing, Pralapan, though talking, Visrijan, though excreting, Grihnan, though holding, Unmishan, Nimishan Napi, opening the eyes, or Nimisha, closing the eyes. That person says, I am not doing anything. These are happening according to the will of the all-pervading Lord. Never taking any responsibility. It says even the mechanical thing, voluntary function or involuntary function in the body, this person, breathing is an involuntary function. We have, in the sleep also we do. In the voluntary we may be walking or holding. Voluntary or involuntary function or heart pumping, involuntary. We have no control. This person says, I am not doing. I can't say, I am beating my heart. It is going by itself. I can't say I am breathing. Without my awareness also breathing happens. This person doesn't take any responsibility. Brahmanyadaya karmani.
Brahmanyadaya karmani.
Sangam tyaktva karoti yaha.
Sangam tyaktva karoti yaha.
Lipyate na sapapena.
Lipyate na sapapena.
Padmapatra yuvambasa.
Padmapatra vivambasa.
Brahmanya adhaya, by offering all actions to the Supreme Lord, giving up the notion, attachment, sangam tyaktva, doing, one who does, engages himself in all activities. Whatever has come in the his swabhava, whatever, if you are a doctor, you are doing, if you are an engineer or a carpenter or a catering or a child care or a housewife, whatever, lipyate nasapapena, offering everything to the Lord, lipyate, you will remain like, fresh like a lotus leaf in a muddy pond. So fresh. You won't get tainted in life. If I do not have a karma-sannyasa, if I do not know how to renounce the attachment, not claiming that this is mine, I won't get the freshness in my life. If you want to have freshness in your life, learn to sannyasa, give up. Nothing is yours. Even seeing, voluntary or involuntary function is not yours, not going as per your plan. You will remain fresh in your life. Kayena manasa buddhya.
Kayena manasa buddhya.
Kevalairindrayairapi.
Kevalairindrayairapi.
Yogina karma kurvanti.
Yogina karma kurvanti.
Sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye.
Sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye.
Sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. And kayena manasa, kaya means through the body, manasa means through your mind, buddhya through your intellect, kevala indriyairapi through your senses, yogina karma kurvanti, yogi does the action physically, mentally, intellectually, through the senses, karma kurvanti, does all actions without any attachment to the outcome or to the people, not attached. Kurvanti, why he or she is engaged? For atma shuddhaye, for self purification, for self-purification. Shri Krishna says you get purified not by applying the expensive soap or taking shower 5 times a day, and engage yourself, melt down at the suffering of others. Serve, reach out, help wherever you can. Yukta karma phalam tyaktva
युक्त कर्म फलं त्यक्त्वा
shanti apnoti naishtikim
शान्तिमाप्नोति नैष्टिकीम्
ayukta kamakarena
अयुक्त कामकारेण
phale sakto nibadhyate.
फले सक्तो निबध्यते.
One, it's reinforcing. One who is integrated, established in karma yoga, yukta karma and karma-sannyasa, tattva, giving up the hankering for the desired outcome, shanti apnoti nishchitam, attains the peace within, happiness within, joy within. Can make out looking at the person's face whether this person has realized that one. Ayukta, one who has not learnt the art of karma yoga, karma sannyasa, kama karena, phale sakto nibadhyate, attached to the fruit, gets bound. This science is never taught in any university. No parents talk about that one. They want their children to study well and get a good job and make lot of money, buy expensive house. That is all the parents' aspiration. But the dimension Lord Shri Krishna is bringing out, no university talks about, no parents is talking about. Today I was invited to speak in a public forum, and there also I mentioned, make a sankalpa that you'll write down one shloka of Bhagavad Geeta. Bhagavad Geeta is not a text for Hindus, rather it is a text for the whole humanity. It is a text for the whole humanity. Read about, make a sankalpa to write down. Na kartrutvam na karmani
न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि
lokasya srijati prabhu
लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः
na karma phalasam yogam
न कर्म फलसंयोगं
swabhavastu pravartate.
स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते.
This shloka, repeat after me. Na kartrutvam
न कर्तृत्वं
na karmani
न कर्माणि
lokasya
लोकस्य
srijati
सृजति
prabhu
प्रभुः
na karma
न कर्म
phalasam yogam
फलसंयोगं
swabhavastu
स्वभावस्तु
pravartate.
प्रवर्तते.
And Shri Krishna, he is talking about Lord is not responsible for na kartrutvam. What I did this one, and like in Mahabharata is saying that Duryodhana says, I know what is dharma and I know what is adharma. I have learnt that one. I know what is dharma and adharma, but God in me tells me to do only the adharma. Follow this path, wrong path. God is prompting me. I know what is good and bad, but it's God. God is making me. And many people, they say, I don't want to be eating meat or drinking alcohol, but what to do? God is making me to drink. And I don't want to take bribes, but what to do? God is asking me to take bribe. We are putting the blame onto the God for our wrong action. Here Shri Krishna says, na kartrutvam. Lord is not involved in prompting us into some action. Na kartrutvam. And because of me this has happened. Because of me, Lord is not taking any responsibility for our action. And if the Lord is taking the responsibility, we may say, we are not responsible, let God go to hell. I am not taking responsibility. Lord says, I am not taking any responsibility. I am not behind the good action or bad action behind anyone. I am not prompting that one. Na karma, for a good action, if something happens, we say, God has been very kind to me, we got that one. And na karma, Lord is not partial. He is not very partial. I want to give only to this person, not the neighbor. We say, we got this one by God's grace. Yes, it is because of the humility, or something bad happened, it is because of the God. Shri Krishna says, the karma phala, your action, the outcome, I am not partial in giving. And Shri Krishna says, swabhavastu pravartate. The type of action, type of attitude you have, you start reaping. The sow is your outcome. If you are sowing the rice in the field, you will get in the rice out of that one. If you sow chili plant, yes, chili seeds, you will get chili. If you sow tamarind tree will come out. How you have sowed, accordingly is the outcome. Accordingly is the outcome. Lord, not to blame for your failure in your life. Not to blame the God for the failure in your life. So what Shri Krishna says, take ownership. We don't want to take any ownership in our life. We want to put the blame onto the God. Shri Krishna says, take the responsibility. Be mindful of your action. So the right input, the output is according to the input. And don't blame the Lord for that one. Be mindful of your action. Shri Krishna is putting the onus back onto us. If only the God is doing everything, if Lord is taking all the responsibility, then what we have to do? That we have, no, everyone becomes idle in life, lazy in life. Shri Krishna says, karma-yoga is not meant for making you lazy. Not to put a blame onto the Lord. Try to sow a right seed so that you get a right fruit out of that one. Nadate kasyachit papam nachaiva sukritam vibhuhu ajnanena, not agna, ajnanena avritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha nadate, and kasyachit papam, and kasya nachaiva sukritam vibhuhu, and nadate, for with our own effort, adate, God is not giving a sin to some person and fruit to another, is not partial. We start saying that because of somebody, for our failure, we start blaming somebody for the failure. And here it says, Shri Nadate kasyachit papam nachaiva sukritam vibhuhu. The sukritam, the happiness or sorrow is not given by the God. In Mahabharata there is a story. One child was bitten to death by a poisonous snake, and village people, they hunted that snake and brought that snake to the grieving mother. That child had died. And the child had died. That person said, I can chop this snake to 1,000 pieces. This snake has killed your child. Then that mother said, my child is has not died because of it is bitten by the snake. Snake did not bite me, snake did not bite others. According to the karma of this child, the snake has bitten. That when the snake answered at that time, I was not responsible for biting. That I was prompted to bite. I did not deliberately bite. And who was responsible? The snake said, ask Yama. Yama came and said, I did not kill this child. Giving the killing or making the child to live, it is not in my control. I can't make a person to live one day extra, or I cannot take life of somebody one day before. It is not in my control. I am according to following the law, universal law. Everything happens according to that one. Here Shri Krishna says, Nadate, and individually we cannot say because of that person I accumulated, I am going through the tough time or happy time. You can't do anything like Pashyan, Shunwan, hearing, voluntary or involuntary. Nothing is in your control. Not to take the responsibility. Nothing is, we start taking responsibility or accusing somebody because of the impurities. Ajnanena avritam jnanam. And our knowledge is covered by ignorance. Therefore, people are deluded right from birth. Right from childhood, we see everyone is blaming others. Whatever is happening, they are blaming others. In a micro level, yes, introspection is required. Micro level, something is happening, but in a macro level, nothing unusual happens. Why we are born in this particular time, in 2022, why we are come together, it is not your choice or my choice. Our karma has brought us together. Who brought this karma together? Who joined that one? I can't say I made friendship with somebody. This happened because somebody brought us together. It is not with our own effort. Ajnan, and we can't understand this one because our knowledge is covered by ignorance. Jnanena tu tad ajnanam yesham nashita atmanaha tesha aditya vajnanam aditya ajnanam prakashayati tatparam. And this ajnana, again repeat after me, jnanena tu tadajnanam yesham nashitam atmanaha tesham aditya vajnanam prakashayati tatparam. And jnanena, this knowledge is covered. Yesham, this it is talking about Yesha, where it's here and inside. Knowledge is covered by ignorance. It is nashita atmanaha. It is bringing in self-ruin for our life. And tesham, therefore, aditya vajnanam, the light of knowledge, the sun. When the sun is born, all the darkness is dispelled, so that when the knowledge is dawned, prakashayati tatparam. When the knowledge is awakened, kindled, all the ignorance, darkness gets dispelled. Like that the break of the dawn, or at the dawn, all the darkness gets dispelled. this thick darkness on a new moon, you want to know how much of firewood required to dispel this thick darkness, and small light is enough to dispel the darkness. However deep is the darkness. Therefore, Shri Krishna says you have to acquire the knowledge, understand the karma-yoga, and not to keep on blaming others for your predicament. Everything happens according to the whatever you have sowed. Maybe in this life or in the past life, you will get the fruits accordingly. And we'll just chant this shloka 17th, and we will expound on that one next week. Tadbuddhaya tadatmana sannishchitat tatparayanaha gacchantya punaravrittim jnana nirdhuta kalmasha gacchantya punaravritti, and we don't want to fall into the same pit again. Shri Krishna says, having got that one, and there is a saying also in English, one who has seen the well in the night has fallen in the daytime. He saw the well, there is a well, I had to be careful. He discovered that one in the night, but he fell down in that same well in the daytime. And it says, and gacchantya punaravritti, when you know this one, you won't do the same mistake. We have seen the well in the dark night, but we fell in the daytime. It won't happen. And when they repeat this shloka from the 14th, na kartrutvam na karmani lokasya srijati prabhu na karma palasam yogam svabhavastu pravartate nadatte kasyachit papam nachaiva sukritam vibhuhu ajnanena avritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha jnanena tu tadajnanam yesham nashitamatmanaha tesham adityavajnanam prakashayati tatparam tadbuddhaya tadatmana sannishchitat tatparayanaha gacchantya punaravrittim jnana nirdusha kalmasha vasudeva sutam devam kamsachanooramardhanam devaki paramanandam krishnam vande jagadgurum.